Hi guys, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Yvonne Princess Shabangu. If you are new here, you're welcome to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and voila, you're part of the graceful and the wonderful family. We are back with another video of Employment Wednesdays, and today we're talking about something that most of us didn't know or don't know. I also didn't know about it until recently. And yeah, so today we're going to talk about the unlawfulness of resigning with immediate effect. You know, I know many of us have done it before. We've gotten away with it, and I mean, you know. And I'm also going to touch on the unlawfulness of abscondment and what it can do to you, or what can happen to you if you abscond. And then also we're going to have a look at, are you entitled to a leave pay? And let's say you resign and you've served your notice and then you've got a couple of days left. Are you entitled to that amount of money? Are you supposed to be paid that amount of money? So firstly, we are going to go into before I go into it, guys, make sure that you're sharing job posts with each other. Make sure that you're proofreading each other's CVs. Make sure that you're helping one another do better in interviews, because I know sometimes it looks like, you know what, there are no opportunities and stuff, but opportunities are there. Go on LinkedIn. There's jobs that you can easily apply, like, you know, easy apply. It's not much of a complicated thing. There's jobs where you need to go to the website, prepare, and all of that. Like, listen, take your time with your applications. Like, for instance, I know September I'm going to be part of Speak Life September, where you speak life, you transform, and all of that. I use that time to actually decide what I want to do with my career, where I want to be, what company I want to work for next, and stuff like that. So you can also take your time, apply for jobs, minimize social media, and just apply for jobs. So think about what you want to do with your career, because sometimes we really think we want to work for people only to find out that we want to start a company and stuff like that, right? So yeah, we are going to be doing that in September. So if you don't see much of me uploading, please pardon me, right? So first things first, let's deal with I have resigned, and I am resigning with immediate effect. My boss pissed me off. My boss was mean to me. My boss hurt my feelings, and I was like, you know what, deuces, I'm leaving right now. Is that lawful? No, it's not lawful, sweetie. You are going to get yourself in trouble. If you work for a company that takes those things very seriously, they may even take you to court for breach of contract. So basically what happens is, guys, we've got standard termination notices in the country, right? We've got standard termination notices in the country, and then we also have notices in terms of your employment contract. So which is why I've spoken about this. When you review your employment contract, you need to look at how does it terminate, who can end it, when can they end it, right? And you know, you look at that. And then when you look at the country standard procedure, if you've been working for a company for under 6 months, 2 weeks notice. If you've been working for at least over 6 months, 30 days notice. And then in some cases and scenarios, you may be required to give 3 months notice, but usually standard procedure after a year is 30 days notice, right? So you have to make sure that you serve your notice. What happens if I don't save my notice? If you don't save your notice, if you work for a nice employer, you're probably just going to forfeit your 1 month salary, but you still get your benefits, you still get your provident fund, you still get your leave pay and all of that, right? But if you work for a company that takes the law pretty seriously, they could take you to court and say you breached an agreement. Because remember, guys, if you are in a company, right, it means you're an asset, you're useful to the company. So just abruptly leaving the company actually puts the company in a detrimental position. So the company can be like, due to you leaving without giving us time to look for somebody else, we've lost 5 million and we want that 5 million from you. You've breached an agreement, and because you've breached an agreement and the court finds you guilty and all of that, they're going to be like, pay up the 5 million. You see, so it's very important that whenever things happen, and I know that a lot of things happen within the workplaces, and sometimes you're pushed to actually want to leave immediately. Guys, stick it through. If you know that you can't stand it anymore, make sure that you're able to serve your 30 days if you've been working for over 6 months, or you're able to actually serve your 2 weeks notice if you've been working for the company for under 6 months, right? And also another thing, guys, you don't want to burn bridges, right? You don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to be that person to be known for it. No, that one, when she leaves, she just ups and goes, you know. It's a little bit childish, and I know that, and I say this carefully, I feel like it's a little bit childish that just to up and leave. Give your employer your notice. Tell them to say, you know what, I'm resigning. and some employers are nice enough to allow you to negotiate, right? You're able to say, okay, I need to leave, I've got an opportunity, I can't stay any longer. They're able to say, okay, no, it's fine, that's not a problem. But you can't just up and go, guys. You'll find yourself on the wrong side of the law, and most of us don't have lawyers. So because you don't have a lawyer, who's going to defend you? And because you're not informed, usually you're bound to make things more worse by not even appearing at that hearing, and then you're going to have an order granted against you in your absentia, right? So it's very, very, very important that you serve your notice, guys. If you feel like you can't serve your notice, speak to your manager, say, hey, listen, please allow me to leave, you know, and then at least you don't have to be forfeiting your 1 month salary. You don't have to be going through a process whereby your employer can easily be like, let's go to court, let's take it to court because you've cost me a great deal, right? And then another thing that I want to touch on, there's this bad habit of people absenting themselves from work because I don't have transport money, because my manager's not treating me well, and all of that. That is considered absconding from work. If you are not treated fairly in the workplace, there are forums, guys. There are forums that you need to attend to, right? There are forums that you can use. You can contact your HR. I know a lot of small companies, even medium-sized companies, don't have HR, but you go about it the lawful way. If you don't have HR, you speak to whoever that's your supervisor or your director and let them know to say, hey, I don't think this is fair and all of that. And if they're not able to hear you, look at the grievance processes. And these are some of the things you ask when you are getting hired at a company. What is your grievance procedure? Should somebody not treat me well, whom do I go to? You know, some companies have a grievance policy, then you'll be able to complete the grievance policy. If it's not resolved, then you have platforms or forums like CCMA, the Bargaining Council, we've got the Labor Court, we've got many places, but make sure that you utilize the lawful way of resolving issues, because you can't just be like, my manager, my manager is very annoying, I'm leaving the company. You're important that you follow law, you follow procedure, and you act accordingly so that you don't find yourself on the bad side of the law. Because abscondment, guys, you can be terminated with immediate effect. They can literally tell you to say, hey, listen, just pack your things and go right now because you've absconded from work. We've been looking for you and nowhere to be found. If you don't have transport, guys, I don't know who told who that your employer must actually pay for your transport money. That is not your employer's responsibility. When you look at your employment contract, if there's nowhere in any way in your employment contract that says we'll pay for your transport, be sure that you have to cater for your transport from day one. Whether it's raining, whether you have loans, whether you have debit orders, you have to make sure that you have your transport money, because should you not be at work because you don't have your transport money, you are going to be seen as a person that absconded. And if you're seen as a person that absconded, then they're going to be like immediate effect. And even when you go to the CCMA for unfair dismissal, they look at it and they're like, you absconded, you didn't show up at work, you know. So yeah, make sure that you always have your transport money, number one, and make sure that you don't allow people, like, I know there's a lot of workplace bullies. I love those. I'm so grateful for my parents because they taught me, if there's anything my father taught me, you stand up there, you stand up for yourself, you stand up for whatever you believe in. No one bullies you into agreeing. And guys, that is, like, if you know me, you know that's my attitude. You can't bully me into anything. You can be paying me, you can be doing this, but I believe in procedure. If you're supposed to pay me my salary on the 25th, pay my salary. If I'm supposed to give you your work, I'll give you your work. Don't allow yourself to be bullied in the workplace. Do not enable or allow people to bully you. Be in a position, don't be arrogant, don't be disrespectful, but put yourself out there whereby you're able to say, hey, listen, you're not going to treat me like this. And do not allow people to make you do wrong things. Like, for instance, I know there's managers that are bullies. There's people that will bully you in the workplace and then they make you leave with immediate effect, right? And then what are you doing? You're breaching your contract. You know, when that person is bullying you and all of that, they won't be there when you have to explain, why did you leave with immediate effect? So when a person starts bullying you, guys, also this thing of forgiving each other behind the scenes because you have a good relationship, it doesn't work. Of forgiving one another or trying to resolve issues in backdoor, don't do it. If there are issues with your manager, don't start having back and forth, giving each other attitude, not giving each other your work and all of that. Go to the appropriate forum. If it is HR, tell them that my manager is not talking to me properly. He's talking to me like he's talking to somebody from kindergarten. I'm an adult. I do not appreciate being sweated. I do not appreciate being treated like that. You tell your HR. If your HR is not there, look for the grievance processes. If the grievance processes are not there, you actually try and talk to somebody else more senior. If that person is not forthcoming, you report them at the CCMA, Labor Department, and all of that. But make sure that you follow all the appropriate forums, guys. We are tired of people that are being abused and then they end up not getting the justice they deserve because usually they allow emotions to make them decide. Do not be that person. Follow processes and follow procedures, right? I hope you guys had me. Do not resign and do not resign with immediate effect. It's unlawful. You will have companies come after you, tell you that they lost 5 million because you resigned with immediate effect. Make sure that you serve your notice. And even if it's not about serving your notice or being in breach of contract, it's always good, man, to leave on a good note. And I'm not saying people must stay in circumstances that they're unhappy with, but I love it when you be professional enough, guys, to have an understanding that you're bold, you're confident, and you can be able to leave a space that doesn't feed you. You go there, you enter that boardroom and say, okay, it's fine. You don't want to keep me. I don't want to stay as well because we are not healthy for each other. We are both leaving and we both have a consensus that we are leaving. We will meet each other in future should that happen. You don't want to be a person that disappears. It's childish. It's unprofessional. Do not disappear on your employer. Do not just abruptly because of emotions want to leave. Address things as they should. And one thing I always say to people, yes, you may think you've resolved the issue by just leaving immediate effect with immediate effect because of that bully. What you are not realizing, you are not trying to correct it for the next person, which means that company is going to go in circles. Many people are also going to suffer over something that you could have resolved, over a thing of, like, guys, I always say this, people that are going to work in my position, every place that I go to, if you work after me, there's something I would have done better for you. There's something I would have stood up for that actually makes you that comes after me have a much easier journey. That's one of my missions in life, making sure that whoever that comes after me has it much more easier. So by this, like, guys, if you ever try and bully me in the workplace, trust me, I will put you where you belong. I do not I think I always attribute this to my dad. My dad has told me this. You can, even if you're not the best in whatever you do, you're able to use your mouth to speak your thought, to speak what you think, right? Also, do not let people undermine you because maybe you're not yet excellent or because you're not excellent. I've heard people say, oh no, we can't, I'm not going to be able to call this person out because they're going to say I haven't met billables. It's fine, I haven't met billables, but you don't get to disrespect me. You know, it's fine. I haven't done this, and you can correct that the way you see fit, but you talk to me nicely. You treat me accordingly. You treat me the best way, the basic conditions of employment act of this country say. You know, you're going to do what is right. You're not going to do what is wrong. You're not going to punish me because I haven't met your billables. Then you think you're going to disrespect me. You're going to swear at me. You're going to deprive me of this. No, it doesn't work like that. If you think that's how you want to punish me, trust me, Mina, I'm those people that say, let's go high. I will take you to the relevant authorities. And I really do urge every single person in the workplace, and not even from an arrogant place, I humbly ask, guys, if you're going through harassment in the workplace, please expose those people. If you're going through abuse in the workplace, expose those people. If you're going through bullying in the workplace, expose those people. There's forums for that, and do not back down. And I know it's very uncomfortable looking at a person that has your career on their hand and tell them that no, you can't use the F word to me. This is not kindergarten. You can't say that to me. You can't speak to me like that. You know, it's very important that we rectify the little things that we can rectify, or the little things that we can control. Let's rectify those, and let's help the next person who comes after us have a better environment, you know, than we got. Because yeah, life is tough in the workplace, right? And then last but not least, I want to talk about leave pay, right? Guys, you're entitled to your leave pay. When it comes to money, I do not play games. Ask the streets, they know me. Even if it's 100 rand, by virtue of being my employer, if you owe me 10 rand, you will pay that 10 rand. Like, we don't play those games here, right? So if ever it happens that you resigning or you've been dismissed and you still have your leave days, your company must pay for you. And I know a lot of companies, small companies, get away with not paying because also a lot of people are not informed about these things. A lot of people are desperate for jobs and they're afraid to ask. Listen, if you're gonna get fired from that company, or if you're gonna resign from that company, if you've got leave days, chase that money. They must give you your money. Like, they must just give you your money. They must just pay up. If you didn't know, I'm telling you now. If you leave and you have leave days, ask for that money. It's not your business whether the company is making enough or whatever. And the thing I like about leave days, whether you were dismissed, whether you resigned, your leave days are your leave days. So they must pay you, right? So yeah, I hope you guys heard me. Do not resign with immediate effect. It's not a solution. You're actually stepping yourself in the back. And then abscondment is not good. If you're going to stay away from work, communicate with your employer. And also, it's not your employer's responsibility to give you transport money, because I know it's a trend now. I'm seeing that a lot of people actually keep on saying, I didn't have transport money, that's why I didn't go to work. That's not your employer's responsibility, unless if in your employment contract it says they will provide you with transport, right? It's very important that you know that your transport is your responsibility, right? And I love that some jobs actually tell you that you need to confirm whether you'll be able to commute to the workplace or to the site, right? And the moment you agree to that, so you can't wake up tomorrow and be like, no, I wasn't at work because I didn't have transport money, because that will be seen as abscondment. And then lastly, I want to talk about leave days. I spoke about it. Leave days, you're entitled to your leave days. If you don't, I always say, take your leave, guys. Take your leave. Your body deserves to rest. Take your leave. If you're not feeling well, take sick leave. If you need to do other things, take your annual leave. Take your leave. And yeah, because sometimes you forfeit your leave, and it's unfortunate if you're going to work for a company for 5 years and you haven't taken leave. You forfeit your leave every 12 months. You know, unless if the company actually has a policy to say you can keep your leave days rolling for at least the next 5 years. But I highly recommend that you take your leave. If you're not feeling well, take your sick leave. If you have other commitments that you need to attend to, take your annual leave. And if it happens that you don't take your annual leave, when you leave that company and when you resign, make sure that they pay you for your leave days. Whether you're dismissed, whether you resigned, your leave pay is what you're entitled to. It's your money. You know, and if you served your notice, or if you're being dismissed, your last 5 days or your last month or your last 8 days, the company must pay you that money. And yet, you guys, also guys, if you want employers to treat you right, you teach them as well. You teach them, Hori, this is me, this is where we draw the line, and this is how things are gonna go. And they also come, like, meet them somewhere, but do not allow workplace issues to consume you to an extent that you just up and leave, because you're only compromising yourself, right? Okay, guys, have a beautiful Wednesday. Actually, I hope you guys are having a beautiful Wednesday. And yeah, God bless you. Keep on applying for those jobs. I'm praying for you guys, and I hope you get the job that you deserve at a company that is good, at a company that has a great work environment, without wasting any much of your time. Do not forget to be loved and like. God bless you.